To me, being in debt feels like that sunken place, and get out, and I'm like screaming like, get out. On this video, I'm going to share with you how I got out of debt and give you some tips on how you could create your own get out of debt plan. I'm Shari K, and on this channel, we discuss purposeful living and personal finance to help you live a full, wealthy life. I'm going to disclaimer. If typically I would be all for everybody, pay off your consumer debt, get out of debt. But I do want to say this now. Given the circumstances of the climate that we're in now, if you are in a job situation that is not secure or may not be around much longer, I would not put my focus on paying off your debt. Just put your focus on building up your emergency funds or your funds that you have to live, your cash. Just pay your minimums and build up your cash, and then you'll be good. But when you get to a place that you're pretty much stable and you're ready to start knocking out this debt, this video is going to help you do that. So before you start tackling your debt, there are 3 things. They're almost preliminary. They are the prerequisites to paying off your debt, but they're so included. So the first one is you have to know how much debt you have. I know sometimes we want to just put our heads in the sand, act like we don't see how much debt we're racking up, but that's step 1. You need to get the statements, look online, get your balances, make a sheet, come up with how much you owe, and next to how much you owe, put what the interest rate for those cards are. This is key. The second thing is you're going to have to know how much money you can put towards your debt on a monthly basis, on a 2-week basis, however you are getting your income sources. How much money are you able to allocate and put toward this debt? And this entails you to know how much money is coming in and how much money is coming out. But once you have that number and you know the extra that you have to allocate toward this debt, you are well on your way. Okay, the third thing that you have to do before you actually start this debt payoff plan is to have an agreement with yourself not to get into further consumer debt. This is key. We don't want to just keep going in a cycle. We want to get this debt paid off and stop this cycle of living in debt. Okay, so once you have those 3 key things, the 4th thing is that you're going to pick a method to pay off a plan. And there are 2 main methods that are discussed. There's one, they call it the Avalanche method, and the second method, they call it the Snowball method. So with the Avalanche method, that just means that you're going to take your debts and you're going to pay it starting with the one with the highest interest rate. So when you wrote down all the debts that you have and their interest rates, if you're going to go by the Avalanche method, you would start by paying extra money towards the one with the highest interest rate. And then for your other credit cards or debt that you have, you would pay the minimums. Now, if you're going to do it the Snowball method, on that method, that's where you start with the debt with the lowest balance. Pay extra toward that one and then pay your minimum to your other cards. And then so once you get that card paid off, you snowball whatever you were paying to that card into your next card with the next highest balance. And you keep going that way until you knock down your debt. And you know what? You know which method works best? It doesn't matter. Whichever method resonates with you, pick that method, whether it's the Avalanche method or whether it's the Snowball method. Now, if you do the math, you will save more in interest payments by doing the Avalanche method, but I personally prefer the Snowball method because I like to look at the thing and make it and see my wins. I like to see the one with the smallest balance getting poof, gone, go on to the next, poof, gone, go on to the next. So for me and the way I like to see things, the Snowball method worked best for me, but it doesn't matter which method you use. Just pick a method and stick with it, or change it if you want, but pick a method and keep going. If you are still watching, do me a favor, look below, make sure that thumbs up button, if it's gray, make sure that it's blue for me. That really helps me out. Step 5 is you are gonna write down your plan. You can use a piece of paper, but I prefer you to use like a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. Here, I'll show you a debt payoff plan that I made for myself, and it's simply I put what the balance was, I put what the interest rate was, and I put what my payment can be, and I put the formulas in there so it'll calculate, so I would know when I was going to get out of debt. So they have some debt calculators online. You can Google them, you can search them. There are some that are free. There are some that might have a fee. There are apps available. There are tons of ways that you can make this sheet, but you need to have this and you need to have it written down. The plan that's written down is more likely to come to fruition than if you just keep these numbers up in your head. Number 6 is to follow up, whether you're going to follow up monthly or you're going to follow up when you get your paycheck. Whatever you decide to be your follow-up time frame, make sure that you're following up and you're keeping track and just making sure that you're staying on task with what you said you were going to do, and that you're planning for what you're going to do going into the next pay period or the next month. Number 7, as you track, make sure that you set up awards for yourself along the way. They could be simple awards like you would get a massage, or you would get your favorite ice cream, or just whatever speaks to your reward system. Make sure you put little rewards within your plan. It helps too if you can visualize it. So on number 7, when you are tracking it and giving yourself the rewards, maybe like, hey, they have these debt trackers that you can color in the blocks as you get towards paying off your debt and your goals, and that's a nice way to have it, just to be able to track it and see it and look at it. Number 8 is rest, but don't quit. When you make the decision to pay off your debt, life will happen. Life will happen. So don't be surprised if there's something that's going to come up that's going to pull on your finances. That's just life. But don't let that discourage you. Don't let that deter you. It's okay if you take a break, if you have to rest from your payoff plan. Handle what you need to handle with life, but then get back to it. Rest. Do not quit. All the best to you in your health. All the best to you in your finances, in your relationships, and in your contribution to this world.
Monday, hey, it's a good day to listen to